The 8 generators promised by Minister Manahuda Malashi, Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, to the hemodialysis center of the Bamenda Regional Hospital in the northwest region of Cameroon have not yet arrived, at least at the time when we left the premises of the Northwest Regional Hospital in the Northwest Regional Chief Town of Bamenda. Patients suffering from hemodialysis complication accuse the Northwest Regional Delegates of Public Health of playing politics with their health. We spoke to them, and of course the accusations will be live in this edition of the news. And also, Michael Bibi is now the Bishop of the Buea Diocese of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province of the Roman Catholic Church. The official decision calling him or naming him Bishop of the Buea Diocese, where he's been administrator for over a year now, was made public today in Buea, chief town of the southwest region of Cameroon. The Anglophone crisis adversely affected the budget of the Limbe City Council of the southwest region. These are the top stories. Other interesting stories will be part of this in this edition of the news. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. You are on to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. We are live from Cameroon's economic capital, city dweller, Equinoxe Center News Desk. I'm Strong Sander. We begin with one of our lead stories. Life is timidly returned to some parts of the Northwest Regional Chief Town Bamenda after the first Monday of the year 2021 was characterized by the usual ghost town phenomenon that saw some shops sealed by the divisional officer for the Bamenda 3 subdivision within the campaign to kick the ghosts out of the Northwest Regional Chief Town Bamenda. Our reporter, Smart Njikangebe, takes us to the Bamenda 3 subdivision.
It was a busy Monday for the divisional officer of Bamenda 3 subdivision, backed by security forces. It's a Monday that has been ghosted in his area of jurisdiction, with most business places shut down without their occupants. It is as a result of this that the divisional officer embarked on sealing stores of business persons with one reason on the seal: non-presentation of administrative documents. The divisional officer says the exercise is to reawaken the business operators in his area of jurisdiction.
Qui a pour but de lutter contre l'ordre public.
It's an operation that has as its main goal to fight against public disorder, which has dealt with our subdivision with its economic activities destroyed. This operation comes after several sensitization meetings with business operators. All business operators were supposed to effectively go about their normal activities from day 1 of 2021.
Donc il s'agit simplement de lutter contre l'ordre public économique qui avait été profondément troublé.
As they went around sealing stores at a financial institution, a seal was placed on it. The guard on duty was furious against the forces of law and order. He says the place was open, but no customer.
Le manager est venu ouvrir tout à l'heure. Donc il fait la passer, il n'est pas rien.
Just as many stores were sealed, some business persons are demanding that the premises of the city council should also be sealed and its workers punished for not opening on Monday. The entire city council building was void of the city mayor and its workers. Even the flag of the country was not seen flying at high mast. The divisional officer of Bamenda 3 say the exercise will not stop now. We have gone round the subdivision and this exercise will continue until the population is reawakened. This Tuesday, life returned timidly to Bamenda. Some few stores that still remained locked after they received threats on Monday from some armed men that they shouldn't open this Tuesday.
Ghost towns were introduced by separatists as a part of their civil disobedience campaign in the armed conflicts ongoing for over 3 years in the northwest and southwest English-speaking Anglophone regions of Cameroon. And the ghost has been headed to leave several towns and cities in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon despite efforts from municipal officials, civil administrators, and local administrators campaigning, calling on the population to come out on Mondays. In some towns and cities, it's a changing and a positively moving campaign, but in some parts, the ghost has remained stubborn to move, like the case of the northwest region in Chief Town, Bamenda. And the Anglophone crisis has no doubt negatively impacted the lives of the people of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, especially people with disabilities. In the following report, our correspondent in Bamenda, Mbustela, spoke to somebody with a hearing deficiency. He recounts their challenges living in such conflict-stricken localities or regions.
Madame Kwa never knew her daughter Blessing was deaf until later as she grew up.
I was almost running mad. I just took it that maybe with time she would talk, she would hear. But as time went on, nothing improved.
Growing up in Bamenda, a town hit by the socio-political and security crisis, has been challenging to Blessing and traumatizing to her parents.
When I was moving on the street, I heard a strange sound. 3 times I got a sound and I ran. I discovered that it was a strange sound. I saw so many people running. So I stood and I didn't know what to do.
Communication is not really flowing well because mostly when I want to advise her, to teach her about herself, to teach her about the developments that are developing in her, genetically, biologically, should know her menstrual period, all those things. But when I want to discuss such things with her, it is really challenging because she will not get some words right.
Blessing's mom, like most parents, only discover at a later age that their children are hearing impaired.
Before this, we used to just allow the baby to grow up until the baby may not be able to speak, which will know that the child cannot hear, and then we think of hearing deficit.
Ambo Shootster Blessing aspires to become a secretary. For her dreams to become a reality, the Form 4 student says signing should be made compulsory for all as persons with hearing impairment.
The effects of the Anglophone crisis is not only felt by people with disabilities in the Anglophone regions, but also by the city of Limbe. The Limbe City Council, on its part, has witnessed a consistent decrease in its budget since the crisis worsened in 2019. The revelation of the negative impact of the Anglophone crisis on the budget of the city of Limbe was made public recently during the voting of the 2021 budget of the city of Limbe. It was made public by the city mayor of Limbe. The budget recession was attended by a correspondent in Limbe, Davidson Maimo.
2020. The city of Limbe witnessed little or no developmental project carried out, as every focus was to fight the dreadful coronavirus pandemic that showed its ugly face in Cameroon. If not all, most projects executed by the Limbe City Council were halted. Speaking during the session to adopt the focus budget of the Limbe City Council for 2021, the city mayor, Mutanga Andrew Monjimba, said, apart of COVID-19, the Anglophone crisis and the national oil refinery Sonora that is unable to pay its taxes to the Limbe City Council due to financial crisis phase. All these greatly affected the City Council financial power.
It's financial because COVID dropped down the economy. The ongoing Anglophone crisis dropped down the economy. The fire incident of Sonora dropped down the economy, so the council could not be better.
Mutanga stressed most of the projects earmarked for 2020 have been carried forward to 2021.
Because of our financial recoveries in 2020, which did not reach the expected level due to the ongoing crisis.
The Supervisory Authority of Councils in Fako Division and Gamba Emmanuel Odu, in his remark, advised the Limbe City Council Board to prioritize high expenditure to meet up with the financial crisis.
I think the City Council for the first time is having it difficult even paying salaries. I wish to advise that give priority to the major expenditure as provided by law.
The Limbe City Mayor called on the populace to respect deliberation, not to bury their loved ones within their premises.
This issue of littering our residential compounds with graveyards is not only an infringement on our development and modernity, but it takes us backwards.
Everything being equal, it is expected that the Limbe Festival of Art and Culture, Limbe Festag, shall take place this year, following its suspension last year due to COVID-19. The budget, which is balanced in revenue and expenditure at a tune of 8.5 billion CFA francs, in actual fact, witnessed a drop to that of last year, which has been consistent since 2019, but for the additional 2 billion CFA francs loan from FECOM for the construction of an ultramodern market, which is ongoing.
The Ministry of Public Health in Cameroon and the Northwest Regional Delegation of Public Health have received a public backlash following their non-respect of a promised deadline for the delivery of generators to the hemodialysis center of the Bamenda Regional Hospital in the Northwest region of Cameroon. It should be recalled that the promise for the delivery of the generators was made by Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manahuda Malashi, on his social media account, and at the time we left the Northwest Regional Hospital premises at about 11 a.m. today, the generators were not present, and the situation got patients worried. They went on to accuse the Northwest Regional Delegate of Public Health and the Ministry of Public Health for playing politics with their lives. Details in the following report compiled by Immaculate Fogwe.
Kidney patients of the Bamenda Regional Hospital are now stranded following the breakdown of the hemodialysis center. Many of them express fear as they are dealing with multiple organ failure, which could result to death.
You know what hell is? Like, I've never been there, but it's been hell. We do dialysis that is unscientific because it is 2 hours using one single machine. During that 2-hour session, the only water is taken out of your body. The rest of the toxins are there. As the concentration now increases because the fluid milieu has reduced. So sometimes you go home and it is not easy for sleep to come.
Life is very, very difficult because if you don't, when you are on dialysis, it means you cannot urinate, you cannot send out waste. So when I don't go for dialysis, I feel difficulties to breathe. My body begins to swell. And now for 1 week, I have not gone for dialysis, so I have not even taken any liquid. I have not eaten anything the whole of yesterday. I have not eaten just because of fear of how I am going to remove it.
The patients stormed the premises of the Bamenda Regional Hospital, demanding for the respect of their rights to better health care. They carried placards revendicating the restoration of these machines.
These have all outlived their lifespan. These are machines that go for 5 years. They have been more than 8 years. So they are completely expired. The only way is to change them. So at the moment we have one machine which is limping. And so they are using that machine to take emergency for 2 hours instead of 4 hours.
Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manahuda Malachi, on his Twitter handle, assured kidney patients of the Bamenda Hemodialysis Center that they will receive 8 new generators on Tuesday morning. The non-respect of the deadline has resulted to public backlash.
The fake tweets, because he said that the machines will be here this morning, and here we are at around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and there is no machine. Delegate also came here and was also saying that the machines will arrive here by night, of which now that we are talking, the machines are not still on the way. So how are we sure that the machines will be here by night? I see that as a tricky way. The delegate came here not because he loves us or because he wants to solve any problem. He just came here today not to make us go on the streets, because he knew that we were going to go on the street today. That was why he came here, to tell us more of his lies, like they have always done. The machines, he said they are on the way. When I asked him, so sir, we should not go anywhere again because there are machines on the way, I needed him to say yes. But actually he said we can go. Why wait? It means he is not even true to his own self that we should wait for machines, because he could not tell us not to go anywhere because the machines are coming. That just shows how liars they can be.
The regional delegate of public health and the director of the Bamenda Regional Hospital later held a crisis meeting with the kidney patients. During the meeting, media men and women were denied access to images. Patients are accusing public health staff of playing with words while they are left to suffer.
We are very keen on the issue of the Bamenda Hemodialysis Center. So we'll be coming back to that in subsequent editions of information on Equinoxe Radio and television. We shall be updating you as the development unfolds in Bamenda. Our reporters are on standby in the Northwest Regional Chief Town of Bamenda. Still stay with Equinoxe television. And I will talk something else. Gendarme officers in the city of Douala were mobilized on the night of December 31st, 2020 to the 1st of January 2021 in one of their interventions in the Makia neighborhood of the Douala 2 subdivision. Some 15 drug consumers were apprehended. Simat Njikan Gabriel was part of the patrol of the elements of the National Gendarmerie. His report.
It all began at the premises of the Legion Office of the Gendarmerie in Bonanjo.
Notre mission est de sécuriser la ville de Douala de façon générale. Nous avons reçu un ordre d'opération qui était très clair par rapport à la sécurisation des fêtes de fin d'année et que nous exécutons à la lettre. Position, situation de vos patrouilles sur le terrain.
Pour le moment, rien à signaler. À vos 330.
Ok, soyez vigilants sur le terrain, soyez porteurs de vos armes et soyez courtois vis-à-vis des populations.
The elements of the Gendarmerie had their last assembly where they received last orders before they descended to the field. The first major intervention of the night came at the Makia neighborhood in Aqua South.
Ça c'est la drogue. Un handicapé.
Venez. Stop. Allez. Stop. Vous bougez ici. Oh. Stop. Oh. Couchez. Venez. Levez-vous, imbécile. Allez, levez-vous. Venez. Oh, imbécile. Vous m'avez trouvé debout. J'ai cherché mon voleur. Allez. J'ai cherché mon voleur, papa. On m'a volé. Ah, t'es imbécile, présent. Avancez, imbécile. Allez, couchez là. Vite.
Its security had a serious fight for close to 2 hours as they fought against drug consumers. Amongst them was a pregnant woman. After their fight, at least 15 of these drug dealers were caught and transported to the Gendarmerie Brigade of New Bell. as the patrol team of the gendarmerie continued their work, they came across a man who said he was a night watch, but was dressed with the attire of an army. An investigation that was later opened showed that he was a member of a security company in Douala. He was later set free after he was asked to remove the army attire on him.
200 mètres, il y a un autre ghetto. L'infiltration ne peut que se faire par cette voie. Et ils seront très renseignés une fois qu'on va l'emprunter.
At the Valley Besenge neighborhood, it was a suspect who was arrested, but after verification, he was set free.
So go and keep it to your house. Okay, happy New Year.
At the Ndokoti roundabout, under the control of Commandant Dasi, the gendarmes arrived at a zone where boys usually consume hard drugs and forcefully take away handbags, mostly from women. Unfortunately, the boys of Commandant Dasi arrived the area where the boys had signals of the gendarmes descending to their zone. The operation on the field by gendarmes was smooth thanks to the collaboration they had with the phone operation unit of the gendarmerie, who received calls and then later informed the gendarme on patrol to move to the zone where danger was signaled.
Déportez-vous à la cité des Palmiers, au lieu dit, entrée stade Caïman, où nous avons reçu un appel d'urgence, de détresse, nous signalant des individus.
And now we talk something else about to say that it was an interesting report, and the works of the elements of the National Gendarmerie. Their activities began on the night of December the 31st, 2020, and went on to the 1st of January 2021. On to something else, the apostolic blessings of His Holiness Pope Francis has been bestowed upon that is the Right Reverend Michael Bibi, who has been appointed as the new Bishop of the Buea Diocese in the southwest region of Cameroon. Charles Ekome tells us more.
Michael Bibi was declared Bishop of the Buea Diocese during a brief occasion at the Regina Passis Cathedral in Buea. Before today's appointment, His Lordship Bishop Bibi was serving as the Apostolic Administrator of the Buea Diocese with the right to residence until the appointment of a new bishop at the diocese.
Every appointment is an opportunity for us to thank God for giving us the opportunity to serve in His church. And I want to thank God for choosing me to be the Apostolic Administrator in the Diocese of Buea.
He was equally auxiliary bishop of the Bamenda Ecclesiastical Province in the northwest region of Cameroon, a position he had been occupying since his appointment as bishop in January 2017. The Diocese of Buea falls under the Ecclesiastical Province of Bamenda, headed by His Grace Archbishop Andrew Kia. The newly appointed Bishop Michael Bibi has expressed a firm commitment to work with the Catholic community of the diocese, which he served as an apostolic administrator for a year now. This 48-year-old prelate hails from Bamesing in the Gokentudia division of the northwest region of Cameroon. He was born in July 1961 and grew up under a typical Catholic doctrine.
And now we talk something else. Sport in this edition of the news to say that doubts clouds the readiness of the intermediate Lions of Cameroon barely 10 days to the CHAN 2021. According to a football technician, Arim Manga, this is due to their 2-1 humiliating defeat from Niger in one of their 4 preparatory matches ahead of the competition to be staged reaching Cameroon. In other games, the Lions drew 1-1 with Zimbabwe and lost 2. Lack of a strong attack line and ball conservation formulas have been advanced as some of the weaknesses of the intermediate Lions of Cameroon. Equinoxe tells us more in the following report.
Barely few days to the kick-off of the African Football Championship Tournament CHAN, both the administration and local authorities in Limbe have put in place strategy to better prepare the city before the D-Day. Speaking during the Limbe City Council session, the senior divisional officer for FACO Ngamba Emmanuel Edu acknowledged that separatists are not sleeping, so too is the government, promising to step up security for a successful tournament in Limbe.
We also have security challenges because the people of the border side are really determined to disturb this very important ceremony, which is going to revamp the economy of our city. We want to come on you to give our security forces all the support that they expect from you.
The senior divisional officer used the occasion to remind the population of FACO Division and Limbe in particular that makeshift structures and haphazard petty businesses along Major Street shall be dismantled.
Dismantle all the sales point of illegal fuel, what they call swap, is going to give a more attractive image of our city.
The calm and easy-going season administrator par excellence say the total collaboration of all and sundry is much needed for the success of this exercise.
And we want to count on all of you to give up the necessary support because it's not going to be easy.
The city mayor, Motanga Andrew Monjimba, on his part, called on the population to fully participate in a special cleanup campaign scheduled to take place on the 6th of January.
One of our major challenges shall be to keep our municipality very clean and attractive.
While contractors involved in some CHAN project are on final stage, the city is already having a different face look, especially at night, as December festive decoration have been amplified ahead of CHAN.
We are rather sorry for the technical error there. It was rather Maimo Davidson reporting on how the city of Limbe is preparing ahead of CHAN 2021. In that report, he indicated that the senior divisional officer for the FACO division has decided to go on the destruction of makeshift structures in the city of Limbe, this to the CHAN, that is the African Championship 2021. And now we come back to the announced report to say that the readiness of the intermediate Lions of Cameroon is put to doubt 10 days to the start of the African Championship CHAN in Cameroon. The Lions' humiliating victory by Zimbabwe or by Niger and a 1-1 tie with Zimbabwe has given reasons for pundits to question the readiness and their possibilities of bringing or maintaining the trophy in Cameroon. A football analyst says the Lions side is lacking in ball positioning and a lack of a strong attack line and a conservation formula. He is Are Manga, who spoke to Equinoxe.
2 defeats and 2 draws make up the balance sheet of the 4 matches the intermediate Lions of Cameroon played recently, 10 days to CHAN 2021. Martin Tungu Pile's boys opened the competition on January 16th against Zimbabwe at the Amadou Ahidjo's Omnisport Stadium. According to a football technician, Are Manga, the squad still has a lot of corrections to make if they have to attain their fixed objectives. On a phone conversation, he says the team must work on ball conservation and noting it lacks an attacker that can be fearful to the opponent's defense. The intermediate Lions in their previous encounters drew 1-1 with Uganda, thrashed 2-0 by Niger, a defeat that raised eyebrows according to Are Manga. Even the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, he says, was very disappointed, like other football lovers who questioned the readiness of the CHAN 2021 host. Sports officials in Cameroon, notably the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, believes there is still time for perfection so as to qualify for the CHAN 2021 final, to be accompanied by victory that will see the team lift the trophy.
The Quarter-Roba football tournament has ended in Mutengene in the Fako of the southwest region of Cameroon. The football tournament was organized in a bid to relax tensions, bring about development and peace. A football tournament dubbed the Quarter-Roba Football Tournament for Unity, Peace and Development was instituted with the objective as stated above. On January 31st, that the final was staged, it saw also the participation of 7 clubs, which all were played in an atmosphere that saw the turnout of the population of Mutengene. The Shark Club emerged victorious after beating the veterans of Quarter-Roba 1-0, but their impressions were also captured. We could not have the images because of the technical failures of the machine, and promising to come back to the images of the final tournament in Mutengene in subsequent editions of information on Equinoxe Television. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your very kind attention. Interesting programs continue on your #1 television channel, Equinoxe. Stay with us.